Hello everyone, this is Bobby here, and I'm doing a video of a Game of Thrones review, episode 6 of season 2, and I kind of just jumped ahead from my previous reviews because I started doing all these videos extremely late. The last video was season 1, episode 2, so I just want to jump ahead because as I give information from the book, it's fresh in my mind right now with later chapters of the book, with later episodes of the season. So it's a lot more fresh in my mind, so I can give out more information. And also, I just want to see if I can get more viewers with it by doing it this way, because it's more recent and people will be looking up reviews, but I may not. So I noticed a lot of things that were different in this episode, and I'm not giving any crap to the television series or the writers or anything like that. They do an extremely good job with adapting the books to the television. So right now they're pretty much at the end of A Clash of Kings at this point, and they're very, very close to starting A Storm of Swords, which is the third book of the series. So in this episode, I'm sorry, I don't really know the title of it, I forgot it, but it's season 2, episode 6. So in this, the first scene, we have Maester Luwin, the Maester of Winterfell, pretty much in a frenzy, a panic frenzy, trying to send a letter out to, I think, Robb, letting him know that Winterfell is under attack and being taken over by Theon Greyjoy and his pieces of crap people of the Iron Islands. And I hate Theon Greyjoy. I knew this was coming from pretty much almost halfway through the first season. I knew that, I didn't know if this was going to happen, but I knew that he was definitely going to betray the Starks. But in the book, in the book, they don't really, I mean, in the television show, they don't really explain the fact that Theon was not taken by the Starks. He was given up as a peace offering by his father. So his father is the piece of shit that did this to him. It wasn't Stark. And Ned Stark would never be like, if you're going to misbehave, I'm going to take your son. I'm going to take your son, and if you misbehave, I'll kill him. That's not Ned Stark's style. So he's just, I don't know why he would betray the Starks when pretty much when he went back to his family, they pretty much rejected him. He's just a weak-minded, evil prick. And the ways of the Iron Islands are disgusting. They pretty much like just go around and rape and pillage and abduct women and call them their salt wives pretty much, and just get to have sex with them when they have wives. But it's just, I hate Theon Greyjoy and everything he represents. But anyway, so after that scene, we have a horrible scene that comes up with the slaughter of Sir Roderick, who is the Master at Arms and Knight of Winterfell. And this is not how it happens in the book. Sir Roderick is killed by a person that's not in the television series. His name was Reek. And there's a long story behind him, and I can't really get into it. But pretty much at that point, Theon is desperate. In the book, Theon is desperate for more people or more soldiers. And this guy, Reek, who was a captive and who was caught by Sir Roderick, who I can't get into what he did and everything. It would take too much time, but he's a terrible person. He rapes, kills, murders, like just flays people alive, pretty much peeling their skin off while they're alive. He has sex with dead bodies in the book. He's just a horrible person. And he's pretty much a prisoner when Theon shows up, and then Theon lets him go and has him, Reek, serve Theon. So Reek goes up to Theon and says pretty much like, with some gold I can leave here and I can come back with a bunch of men to help us out. And Theon pretty much takes the risk, because if he doesn't try this out, then the force of Robb's party, like whoever Robb sends up, which he will send up, will destroy the men that Theon has left at Winterfell. And what happens to Sir Roderick really is that in the book at this point, he's not even there at Winterfell at all when Theon takes the castle of Winterfell. And pretty much Reek comes back. The guy Reek comes back with whoever he can manage to gather when he was off with the coin that he had, which was a good amount of men. And he met Sir Roderick outside of Winterfell, making their way. Both of them were making their way to Winterfell. Sir Roderick was going to go help Winterfell. And when Reek met up with Sir Roderick didn't recognize him at first because he was in disguise as the Squire Boy of Winterfell. And right when Reek and his companions, who outnumbered Sir Roderick, went up to Sir Roderick, Reek pretty much just hacked at him with his sword and cut Sir Roderick's arm off. And Sir Roderick pretty much bled to death, while the rest of Reek's men, pretty much killed the rest of the northern men. So that's how Sir Roderick dies in the book. He does not die like that in the book, as the way he did in the television show. He did not get hacked like that by Theon. Theon did that to another character that was not in the book, really, and he's definitely not in the television series. He was a very minor character in the book. But he was a person that Theon Greyjoy had like drinks with when he lived at Winterfell with the Starks, and talked about archery and hunting with him and stuff like that. So he was outspoken or something like that, and he's pretty much like, yeah, hacked him to death, and yeah. And in the book, Theon is being haunted by dreams right now because of what he's done. So now we're just going to go to the north right now with Jon and his adventure, or whatever you want to call it, with his name's Qhorin Halfhand, I believe. Qhorin Halfhand. And they're pretty much like bonding and like talking a lot about certain stuff, and Halfhand is like guiding him and telling him the ways of the north, and that's pretty much how it happens in the book. They don't really talk about ghosts that much the way that they did in the television show. They talk about him being a beast, and he only will be a beast. He's not a companion. He never has that discussion in the book. But in the book, they have different rangers that Qhorin Halfhand has with him that have different specialties. One is able to torture really well, and to have the ability to not feel any sympathy when he kills women. But he's a good guy, I guess, in the book. And another one of the companions of Qhorin is he's like a master at archery. He can shoot when winds are like going crazy. He can shoot at a distance. And then the other guy that's with him is a smaller guy that's about 5 feet tall, and he can climb extremely well. He can climb like cliff face and stuff like that. He's just very good at that. Anyway. Now we're going to go to the Tywin Lannister over in Harrenhal, or whatever you want to call it, with Arya. And in the book, Arya, and this isn't any spoilers either, it's just different. Arya in the book is not a cupbearer to Tywin Lannister. She's just like basically like a runner for certain like pieces of shit people who somehow have they're pretty much in charge of like people like Arya and younger people to do tedious things like chores and stuff like that, and they get beatings and stuff like that. And she's seen Tywin Lannister in the camp of Harrenhal, but in the book she's never spoken to him like they do in the television show. But it's cool, kind of. They have like their own little. It's almost like Arya's kind of like respecting Tywin for how he is, and Tywin's also respecting Arya, which is kind of cool. I like their little scenes together. Like, yeah, and it shows that Tywin doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. You know, he's ruthless, but he seems like he's not bad. He's not a bad guy. So now we're going to go back to the north, where Jon and Qhorin Halfhand are basically going to set up an ambush to these wildlings that are basically on watch. And there's 3 of them, or something like that, and pretty much the rest of the Night's Watch men kill the rest of them, but Jon is left with this other one who he's about to strike and kill, and it turns out to be a woman. In the book, she is extremely homely, as George R. R. Martin describes her in the book. She's ugly. In this TV show, she's a pretty cute girl, and she's supposed to look kind of rugged in the show, so I'm sure she's a lot better looking in real life and everything too. But anyway, so, and her name is Ygritte, and it doesn't really go down like that in the book. They do leave him to finish her off, but he doesn't volunteer it like he does in the TV show. Qhorin was about to kill her. Qhorin Halfhand was about to kill her with his dirk, but Jon speaks up and says, "I'll do it." In the book, it happens with Halfhand being kind of giving Jon shit and saying, "You have to finish her off. She's your captive. You kill her." So, and it was also very dramatic. Pretty much him about to kill her and everything, and it's not like that in the book. It kind of is. I don't think he's holding I think he might be holding the blade up, but the whole like fake swing and everything and bring it down on the stone in front of her. He never even, like in the book, he never even went like that. Drew his sword back in order to make the death blow. Never happened in the book. He does let her go. He says, "Get out of here," and she walks away. She doesn't escape, and there's like a big chase and everything like that. That never happens. And also, mind you, that bastard sword in one sweep. Not because it's a bastard sword and bigger, but that's one of the reasons, but also because that's Valyrian steel. Valyrian steel, I found out in the book, is like a process where a master armorer or smith makes it, but he also, when he's treating the steel, he's tempering it in a way where he folds the metal. When it's really, really hot, he folds it like 1,000 times over each other, so you can see each fold in it. That's how you prove a true Valyrian blade. Like at Ned or Eddard Stark's ice. So there's a big chase, which never happens in the book, but it's entertaining, you know, a chase. And so he chases her. And so what? I want to see something real quick. Okay. So now in the next scene, one of Cersei's daughter, one of the princess, Joffrey's younger sister, is being sent off to be a princess. To be wed eventually to someone else that Tyrion set up. I forgot who it was, and Cersei's pissed, and it's pretty much for her protection because King's Landing is in a desperate state right now. Stannis' host is close. And so Cersei pretty much threatens Tyrion, saying like, whoever you love, eventually I will kill them. So now, I think I want to point out that Sansa says something about something. I don't know what it was. I think it might have to do something about with her brother or something like that. And then Joffrey just insults her and makes her feel like a piece of shit. Joffrey tries to make her feel like a piece of shit and stupid and everything, and just makes fun of her or whatever. And as Joffrey moves away and everything, and then the dog goes to follow him, and you can see in the Hound's eyes, the dog I call him sometimes, you could see in the Hound's eyes, and he makes like this face like he's just like pissed. He's pissed that Joffrey's doing that to Sansa. And so another scene comes up as they're going back to the castle. Joffrey and his procession are walking, and all of a sudden the riot breaks out, and he gets hit in the face with a cow pie, a piece of shit. And that was awesome. That was in the book too, but everyone was on horseback in the book. And it was funny how the riot kind of turned into zombies on that one guy. Like, they all swarmed in on him and they ripped him apart, and they were like raising his limbs and stuff. I thought that was kind of fucking stupid. I'm sorry. But that didn't happen in the book, but they did kill and swarm people and bash in people's heads with rocks, but they did not swarm in and rip them apart. And there isn't a rape scene. So right now I'm about to hit my 15-minute point, so please continue on with part 2 of this video. Thanks for watching, and vote and comment, please.